Alright everyone, welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. I've got a quick video for you guys today to discuss some of the trades that we took in the chat room. If you guys don't know, we do run a Discord chat room here. We also have some social media accounts here, Twitter being one of them. I post, for the most part, every single day our pre-market game plan on Twitter, which is great. YouTube, you're watching now, so you know about this channel. We also do have an Instagram at LPR Trading Group. If you guys can check those out, like, comment, subscribe, I'll be sure to get back to every single comment. And I'm sure you guys will get some great knowledge out of, especially our YouTube channel videos, and you'll get some insight on what we do and what we talk about in the chat room off of our Twitter feed. I'll give you guys a little dive here into our Instagram channel. This is where I post all of the pre-market plans here. I primarily trade ES for the most part every single day, post all of our zone, supply, demand, key levels, some notes, and I also post a marked up chart right here of areas of interest that I'm looking at when the market opens. Once the market opens, we've got the intraday market discussion, and this is where I go play by play everything I'm looking at for the most part throughout the day. I give you guys an idea of the trades that we're looking at taking, how the trades are looking to play out, and if you look at this trade, for example, we will touch on this trade when I get to the charts, and I can show you exactly what I was looking at, exactly what I saw, and exactly what happened on the charts. So what we'll do is we'll dive into the charts right now. I have them all marked up nicely for you, and we're going to go through some important things that happened today. I'm going to get you guys to better visualize a picture of the chart, especially a bigger picture view of the chart based on what we do here at LPR, which is level, pattern, risk, and we say you cannot take a trade without meeting these three criteria. You need a level to trade off, you need a proper trading pattern, and you need sufficient risk versus reward in order to get into the trade. So the way our day starts here is we have some after hours trading here. We've got a big drop going into the open. Sellers really putting pressure on the market, and we do have this demand zone. This is a 2-hour demand zone, so if I flip to the 2-hour chart quickly, I'll show you right in here. We've got this 2-hour demand zone, so we rallied off this base right here. We based out. We had a nice rally. We started basing sideways. We have some nice demand before we push to the upside again. We also have some supply sitting in this area. I have this very thick 2-hour supply up here that I really like. Let me just show you the bigger picture. That's coming from this area. I think it's a 1-hour supply actually. That's coming from this area, and this is actually a pattern in our course. This is a flat top breakout. So what happens is price creates a pressure cooker effect before we break through this area and make new moves to the upside. Now, it wasn't ready today, and we pretty much knew it wasn't ready today for reasons that I will explain once we get into the intraday chart. But let's dive down to the intraday price action on the 1 minute so we can really dissect exactly what we were looking at today. And I can go over with you guys the trades that we took in the room, also the trades that we missed in the room. I don't want to speak for everyone. I'll just speak for myself. I did miss one trade off the open. That was a really good trade that we had planned out. It was rather disappointing, but we just look for the next trade, and that's all we can do as traders. So what happened here play by play? I've got this area marked right here, and this is an auto marked area off trading view. This is the 15-minute initial balance. I really like to plot this on my chart, and I really like to trade off it actually, because this is where the opening drives are made or the initial balance is made. And what the initial balance is it's price discovery within the market. Some people call price discovery the first 1 minute, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I really like the first 15 minutes. That's where for me, the market really irons itself out, whether it's chopping sideways or it's got a big opening drive like this. I find that these areas, highs and lows of the 15-minute initial balance, are very key going forward throughout the day, and sometimes even into the following days. So the first trade that I actually missed today was right here. We have this very nice fade into demand, price holds, we make some very nice higher lows here going into the open. And it would have been an aggressive buy to buy this right off the rip, but you could have with a very tight stop under this area, and you would have cut a very nice move. Now, why am I disappointed about missing this trade? I'm disappointed about missing this trade because we planned this trade out. Now, if I see a trade happen and I missed it and it wasn't in the plan, I'm not so disappointed. For me, it doesn't really matter, but when I do plan out a trade and I miss it, sort of shame on me, right? But it's all right. We move forward and we continue looking at the chart. If you did catch this trade, this was a really nice trade. In the pre-market plan, we talked about our supply areas up here, 457, 550 being targets. And look exactly where we got here. So this is from potential entry 4,518 all the way up to 4,575 and change. Like, you're talking a 50-60 point move here, which is amazing, whether you're trading options, futures, stock, whatever you're trading. So that was a really, really good move there. Once we start moving up, actually, there are more trades to be had, and students in the chat room took these trades. I didn't. I stayed away from them, and I waited until we got to supply. But let me just run through some of the trades that you could have taken on the way up. Now, right here on the 5-minute chart, right beneath this 15-minute initial balance right here that formed, we have a very nice rally, a basing candle where some profit taking took place, as well as this candle gave a chance for new buyers to step up and push price through the highs. You could have bought the high break of this basing candle, which is a rally base, and then played an anticipation for the next rally, which worked out very, very well. If you didn't get that trade, some traders even took this candle right here. It wasn't as clean, but the play was there, the idea was there, and they took this trade and they played this trade right up into the POC as well as the supply for final profits. Now, the next trade that I ended up taking was a trade off of supply, and this is what I was waiting for. I was waiting for price to get up to supply as we defined it as a target in the pre-market for any longs. So if I miss the longs, I still expect price to go into the supply zone. Now, if you look at this chart right here, the way this chart is played out, and then we look at this drawing that we have drawn up here, this is exactly what we were looking for before price even played itself out, okay? So this is what we're looking for before price actually made this move, and it gave us exactly what we're looking for. So we're not forecasters. We don't try and anticipate what the market's going to do, but we have a plan. And once we have a plan, maybe 1 plan, 2 plans, or 3 plans, depending on what the market could do, we just wait for those plans to come to fruition, and then we execute. So what I did was, as soon as price came up into supply right here, we could have played a TZ play over the highs, but it pushed over the highs a little bit too much for my liking in order to play a TZ play. So I just waited for the pullback. We retested the highs, and as soon as we got this bounce right here, mind you, I use Jigsaw, and I'm looking at the order flow when we get this bounce. When we get this bounce back to the highs, it's a bounce on low volume, and there was not a ton of buy pressure. There was a wall of sellers just sitting right here that previously sold this down. So I'm expecting that price comes back into this area where sellers previously hit the bid and marketed into the market. Price would come back and hit those guys, and they would reload, and that's where they would really load their shorts in, or create a wall there, some sort of impenetrable wall where it would create an area to get short. Now, of course, buyers could have broke through this, and we could have pushed high up day and kept running. But when we're trading, we're just looking at the most high probable situation. Those are the situations we want to risk our money on. So I ended up actually putting a limit order to short. I almost top ticked this one here. I put a limit order out to short at 4,578.50, and we got up to 4,578.75. So I nailed this to almost the tick. And as soon as we got in, we rolled over and we faded. Now, when we're talking about profit targets, what I did for these profit targets, as soon as we started rolling over here, I actually played this area as one of my profit targets. Previous pivot lows are typically areas where buyers, in this case, will try to step up and push price up, or congestion areas or consolidation areas. If we look at something like the 5-minute chart here, this was a congestion area that I was looking at, and this is where I wanted to take my profits. I was not willing to hold and get a bounce somewhere in this area, making higher lows and pushing through high of day. So I ended up taking 50 or 60% of my position off here, and then we let the rest run. And this is really the best part of trading. When you nail the trade and you can get a piece out of the trade, I don't want to say you're in a free trade, because you're not. You do have unrealized gains that you could put in your pocket, but you're in a much better spot. And I sort of look at it as not quite free rolling, but you're in a much safer spot where you've put money in your pocket, you've made your goal on the trade, and now you can really let the trade work out. So where was my next target on the trade? My next target on the trade was right down into this 15-minute initial balance. 15-minute initial balance was a huge area that you could have taken profit at. And then actually, if you got profit out at this area, there was a long trade off the 15-minute initial balance where you could have got a nice scalp to the upside. So these are two trades that we saw today. Now, I see a lot of people scalping around the market, and this is fantastic. You can make a ton of money scalping ticks on the market. But if you're looking for a bigger picture type play where you can plan the trade out, you can sit back, wait for your plan to come to fruition. If it does, you execute. If you don't, if it doesn't, you wait either further into this current day, or you wait till the next day to execute your trade. I mean, this is what we do in the room. All of our trades are completely planned out. Market adaptation is key, but the only time you can or you should adapt to the market is when market conditions are changing from a run-up phase, distribution, accumulation, run down, or if one of your plans are changing intraday. And I don't mean you need to really adapt to change your plan completely, but if your plan is we're going to look for shorts up into supply as long as sellers show presence in this area, I don't want to be the first one in the trade, so I'm going to wait for the trade to play itself out a little bit, give me some more indication that it wants to get short, and then we're going to get short. So your plan really fully comes to fruition once you get to your areas or once you get to your levels. Now, we're market lawyers. We're trying to find multiple pieces to a puzzle in order to put it together to put ourselves in these high probability situations. And that's what we do as traders. Now, going forward a little bit after these trades, after these two trades that, well, one we took and one we missed, we've got some news here, potential rate hike on the market. So this just bled the market out for a little bit. And this was a wild drop, actually. It happened extremely fast. And it did look like it wanted to make another run for the highs. And then we just get this waterfall, which is unfortunate for anyone that was long. And then I've got another area marked up here. 50% of the initial balance measured move gets met with temporary buyers, initially providing liquidity for the next big sell-off. So if we look at the initial balance right here, high, low, this line right here represents 50% of this move. For me, this is an important move in the morning. Again, I said I play off these initial balances a lot. So if price moves away from the initial balance, we can look for it to support the highs, potentially the inside, which is 50% of the measure move, and not in this case, but potentially the lows, right? So this is how you can look at your chart and look at your markets on a bigger picture in order to give yourself a really good idea of what might be going on intraday. I know when people are trading, for example, this area, this area, this area, they end up very zoomed in on their charts. And why do I know this? Because I've seen people do this over the years. I see students do it currently. They're on the 1 minute chart. If they could, they'd be on the half a second chart, and they're just zoomed in just like this. And they're looking at every tick of the candle, and they're trying to figure out, which way it's going. And they're, this, in my opinion, is not the way to trade. You just need to zoom out, see the bigger picture intraday. You need to see the bigger picture on your larger time frames, and this is what allows you to plan the trade out. So without keeping this video running on forever, I'm going to end it here. If you guys have any questions about anything, please feel free to comment down below, and I'll be sure to answer any questions. If you're interested in anything that we do, please check the links in the description, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll continue pumping out the videos. Thank you.